When we started working on the soundtrack for Celestial Return, one of the first decisions we made was not to commit to a single genre. That was important to us from the beginning. Because the world of the game is not clean and it is not unified, it is made out of things that do not fully belong together. Different tones, different pressures, different emotional states, all existing at the same time, so the music needed to reflect that. In total, we ended up creating a 20-track OST. There are 3 metal tracks in the album. 2 of them lean more toward post-metal, 1 moves into djent territory, and 1 sits closer to death metal. I composed 2 of the metal tracks myself, and the djent piece was composed by Muhammad. Alongside that, we have 2 jazz tracks that support the noir atmosphere of the game, especially around the jazz bar environment. Those were composed by Burke, who is also the bassist of the Izmir-based black metal band Merhum, where I play drums, so that collaboration also comes from a very personal place for us. The remaining 13 tracks move across different subgenres of electronic music. I composed 8 of them, and Burke composed and recorded the other 5. So when you look at the soundtrack as a whole, it is not built around a single musical identity. It is intentionally more fragmented than that. It is closer to what I would call a compilation album feeling. That choice is directly tied to the story. At its core, Celestial Return is about things that should not come together, coming together anyway. Rivals, opposites, even enemies forming some kind of an alliance, and the kind of power that creates. In that sense, I sometimes think about it in a similar way to How to Train Your Dragon. The idea that humans and dragons were never meant to coexist, but once they do, the entire story shifts. In our case, that relationship exists between humans and abstracts. The way we approach music comes from that same place. Instead of defining the game through a single genre, we wanted the soundtrack itself to feel like a meeting point of incompatible elements. And I think that also reflects Howard as a character. He is not someone who had the space to become a clear, fully formed individual. He has been pushed forward by circumstance for most of his life, without much time to stop and reflect on himself. Because of that, he does not feel like a singular, complete identity. He feels more like something assembled out of different pressures, reactions, and unfinished parts. In a way, he is also a kind of patchwork. So the soundtrack is not just there to support the atmosphere in a traditional sense. It became a way to reinforce both the character and the structure of the story. Jazz for us represents instability, inner tension, and a kind of controlled unpredictability. Metal carries the weight of pressure, resistance, and more externalized form of intensity. The electronic layers sit somewhere in between, shaping the mechanical and unfamiliar side of the world. What we ended up with is not a clean or uniform soundtrack, but Celestial Return is not a clean or uniform world either. And I think that contrast, or that lack of unity, is exactly what gives the music its place in the game.